let's just start. We'll go down the line here. We'll start with Alyssa. Now, this is file 1. This is pre-balance. Yeah, what's up, man? This is pre-balance, dude. So there was characters that became really good in file 2, but maybe not as good in file 1. But we're gonna treat S tier as if that's pretty much the best. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
100%. I don't think we'll even dip into C tier, or I mean maybe. Maybe there might be one character in mind I'm thinking of right now that can go there, but I think why is Jim
file 1? I think it's possible. Why not everybody's got buffed up, you know?
Why is Jim so good? We'll go over that in a minute.
Yeah, 100%.
So Alyssa, first off, picking locks is amazing, but me and Diz spoke of this last night. There's not a whole lot of them in file 1, and ones that are actually omega useful. Yeah, sure, you can get ahead, a couple little extra items, maybe a herb here, or maybe a handgun. The big one being the RNG shotgun from the locker in below freezing point, but that's the only one we could really think of.
In 1, yeah, where her lockpick actually makes a difference or is kind of heavily useful.
Yeah, so I really, but her strengths, she's strong. She's very strong. She's fast.
Fastest girl character in the game.
She's good with weapons. Like, as far as, like, because you notice how, like, Yoko, when she shoots a gun, it's terrible. Like, that matters. Like, certain characters handle the weapons better, it seems like. It kind of seems like when Jim shoots a gun, it's not as good either. I don't know why. But Alyssa can get extra damage with the handgun.
Yeah, she's got the pop shot.
Correct. Yeah, she's got the pot shot, and she's fast. She has decent health, you know. I've been playing Alyssa before.
Her base character's 2K, so yeah, she has pretty decent start health.
Yeah, I've been able to like worm my way out of stuff with her, and like take an extra hit, and kind of just rock with it. But this isn't file 2, so
2.9.
I'm gonna say Alyssa is a fat A tier, and that's easy cap right there. What you think?
Yeah, you know, yeah, for Outbreak 1, yeah, I'd say she's A tier.
A tier.
Yeah, she's teetering the line though. She could be S tier. She's
teeter.
She has the ability.
I definitely think she belongs more on the A tier, but yes, you're right, teetering, dude. Like,
yeah, just because of Outbreak 1 though. If it was Outbreak 2, I might say she might be closer to S tier, just for the pure fact that I think Yoko has such a big.
She's very useful. Yoko's just so useful as far as
big benefits to the team, because like the 1's a lot about item management. Not that 2 isn't about item management, but by the time you're playing 2, you have a better idea how to manage yourself. But 1 was your first taste of it. So having her backpack, just having a Yoko as a partner in every level in 1 is like ridiculously helpful. So it's like I could see why I wouldn't put her S tier, because to me Yoko is S tier in 1.
Well, and that's something we need to take.
Why?
There's something we need to take into consideration is
So
we talk about their strengths solo, but this is a team-based game. On paper, like, it was meant to be played that way. It doesn't have to be played that way, but so we need to take that into consideration too. And Alyssa falls short of being, you know, a huge help to the team. She's very good by herself, you know.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I'd say
that might actually knock her down a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it might bring her down to a B actually, or
it might be high B.
Locked her down to an A, because that's right. Like, she doesn't actually benefit the team well with any other. She doesn't bring much to the table besides being able to unlock a door.
Maybe
She's got
high
a pop
B
shot. So like she is.
It's
in
got
an online scenario, I feel like she's a B. But if you play her solo by yourself with NPCs, she's definitely A tier, maybe S tier.
Even S, yeah, like
solo.
solo.
I'd be to slide her to S solo. Because she's fast. She's got decent virus recovery rate. It's 0.89 a minute, which is not bad compared to some of the other characters, which most characters are about a minute.
That's something we need.
Virus rate in a minute.
That's something minor, but also major in the game, especially when you're playing on very hard. Your virus meter matters. It doesn't really matter in the other difficulties, I feel like, but like in very hard, there's been so many times where Like turning into a zombie is a very real threat.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's the other thing about Alyssa is her usefulness increases the higher difficulties you play on. Normal to hard, and easy, I would say she's not as useful. But when you hit that very hard level, when you're playing all those scenarios on very hard, she gets a lot more useful, especially in File 2,
All right,
because everything changes through each scenario.
let's
So like, there's a lot of diversity with picking Alyssa. I feel like she's a good pick. She's not a bad pick by any means. I wouldn't say she's a selfish pick, but she's a good character to play if you're not that good at the game. Out of the 3 girls,
True. Yeah, out of the girls, definitely, dude. So
definitely, I would add that in.
So you think A or B? Like high B, like A? Because there's a lot of factors. Like you brought up some good points, bro.
A. Yeah.
Yeah, A. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's. We'll stick Alyssa there, and we might come back to her. Okay. If things start to get a little more complicated, but now let's talk about Cindy.
Oof.
Cindy really can make or break a scenario, though. It's one thing I'm really thinking of. Is she harder to play? Yes. She's very fragile, 100%. Dude. She's very fragile.
I don't think they gave her dodge in 1, so she doesn't have a dodge in 1. She's pretty fucking slow. I'm looking at her speed right now. Her speed's 2.68 compared to Alyssa's. Alyssa's was 2.9. I know that doesn't sound like much, but I promise you, if you play with a character that has that speed and then you play with a character that's at 2.9, you will tell a tremendous difference. Especially if you play with a character that's at 3 point something. Like, they're freaking ridiculous fast. It doesn't even feel right.
Cindy definitely feels like piloting like an older model car, dude. Maybe from like the 2000s or something. Not as fast as what we got, but and it's not as slow as like your grandma's car, you know?
But she's a really helpful teammate.
Gosh, she's really helpful.
She starts off with almost, I think she starts off with 2 of every herb in her inventory, right? So she's got 2 of every herb. She can make 2 full heal items. She can cure poison. She's just a really good person to pair with anybody. She gets paired with George. She can help George make a multitude of different healing items. Not necessarily probably on 1, more beneficial on 2, but she's got some decent playability. She's definitely harder to play, I would say. You were right about that. She's got 1,500 vitality compared to Alyssa's 2,000. So she's going to be in danger a little bit quicker if you take those hits. And like I said, she doesn't have her dodge in this game, which makes her a little bit harder to play, but she is more beneficial to the teamwork mechanics in the game.
I want to say Cindy has her dodge.
The game, you don't really have to worry about that. Does she have it in 1? I was trying to pull the game up.
Even if she didn't or does, it is kind of a janky dodge. It's a janky dodge, and it's a little more. It's definitely like a little harder to nail than.
It's not as useful in a lot of scenarios. 100%. It's about the same now. I feel like it has more frames from when I remember playing as her and using it on different attacks that can insta kill or kill you. I feel like it has a little bit more frames than everybody else's, because like Alyssa's doesn't seem like it has that many frames, but when she goes to duck down, Sydney seems like she gets at least like 1 to 2 frames. Like you could be a little slack with it, where I feel like with Alyssa you kind of have to be a little bit more on point with it. You have to almost do it right before, kind of like a dodge would be in any other game. You'd have to dodge it or parry it right before it hits you. You know what I mean? That's kind of how slick you have to be with Alyssa's.
Yeah. What's up, Vengeance? What's going on?
Sydney's where she's just standing in place and she kneels down and ducks. Now on File 2, I know we're not on File 2 yet. She can do that with a teammate, which makes Sydney kind of S tier when you think about it, because she could take a person who has no dodge mechanics built in their kit, hold them while they're injured, and dodge with them at the same time. So as long as you're good at dodging, you can make the other person dodge.
Yeah, why do I feel like I see her way more in File 2? Like, she's great. Like,
true. I rarely see her in online play in File 1.
Yeah, I think you made a lot of good points. I also, yeah, she's a little more difficult. I wouldn't say she's like the hardest character to play.
No, I'd say Yoko. Out of the girls, Yoko's probably just a tad bit harder, just because I think Yoko's a tad bit slower.
Okay, Vengeance. I agree with you on some of those points for sure.
I wasn't even looking at chat. What did Vengeance say?
Do I agree with all of them? I don't. But
Yoko. S. For file one, Sydney S for file one.
I don't know. I don't know if I feel that. And here's gonna
I do
be
like your Yoko pick though.
there's a one big reason why I'm probably not gonna put her as high, and it's the simple fact of the role that you play. Not a lot of people initially, or even when you become moderately decent at a game, even step into trying a support heal role, and that alone like puts.
Can she touch? Can
Yeah,
she touch heal and
I'm sure
one?
she can. I'm sure she can.
I remember there was a part of that they changed for 2. That's the only thing.
There's something I can't quite remember what they changed about her in 2.
Sucks because I never played Sydney quite a bit, so I know a little bit about her, but from 1 I don't know a lot. I could talk a little bit more detail. Like I said, I brought up some stuff about how she works in 2, and a lot of the mechanics to where I thought she was a lot better than what I thought from 1.
I'm gonna say Cindy. I'm gonna say Cindy is like a low A, high B. And I just feel comfortable putting her in B tier at the moment, just for the moment.
Like it also depends maybe how good you are as well, because she could be a fucking A tier, maybe even an S tier depending on how good you are. If she has her dodge, she might be an S tier in my opinion.
Yeah, Vengeance. I agree. Like I agree that she's very good, and I don't know if she's the star of Outbreak, but it's like when we first opened with
Outbreak 1.
Nah, when we first opened with Cindy, we both agreed that she can make or break a run, basically. Especially if your team makes a bunch of mistakes. I've seen Cindy just bring a whole team back and just get everybody good to go again, you know, because little Timmy might not have healing items on him or something, you know, and he gets put in danger.
Maybe Terry's getting all the lag, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of games I'm catching turbo out the wazoo. I'm just fucking trying my best to dodge and weave through the waves of turbo and regular gameplay.
And we are talking about in terms of gameplay itself too. Like playing her is a little harder, man, especially on the high difficulties. She's slower and more fragile.
Yeah.
Do I think she's balanced? Yeah, I think she's pretty balanced, honestly.
Yeah, 100. And like I said, I'm looking real quick to double check. If she's got her dodge, she definitely gets a higher grade for me, because it's very important. That makes a difference whether or not like she's extremely hard to play or she's minutely hard to play.
Yeah. I'm sure that she has it, to be honest. Like some form of it, because everybody has a, you know, aim and circle ability, or whatever you call it. I call it circle because I play on PlayStation, but your B, you know, or your what would you call it? Like alternate action?
Yeah, some kind of alternate action. Yeah, but not everybody has a dodge.
Not everybody has a dodge.
A lot of people don't have a dodge.
Okay.
It's actually kind of game breaking.
Let's move on. Well, I'm gonna stick her like high B for a moment.
Would you put her high B?
Yeah.
I think she definitely probably at least A tier with Alyssa.
At least A tier with Alyssa.
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of agree.
I feel like playability
Okay.
comes into it. You know what I mean? If you're good with her, or if you're not even good with her, if you're good at the game, if you're good at Outbreak, you understand how to dodge and play the game very hard, not hard, very hard. She's definitely a better pick. Now, if you're new to the game, I would not recommend her because, like I said, she's definitely one of the harder characters I feel like to play with. If she doesn't have her dodge in the first one, which I'm about to fucking verify, she's definitely a lot harder. Now in 2, she's a little bit more. You know, she does have her dodge in the first one. Okay.
So hey, she belongs in A.
She didn't.
She belongs in A.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of playability and difficulty and whatnot, if you are a decent Resident Evil player and you are well versed in inventory management, then you will do well with her. If you know how to play for your team more than yourself, you will do well with her. What I'm saying on some of my points is people may rank her that high because of her utility, but not a lot of people like to play those roles. So it's just, you get what I'm saying?
Or play them like to the T. You know
to the T. You know, like a lot of people play selfishly, and that's why some of these characters are going to be better because they They play to that strength very well.
I've had quite a few Sydneys that literally, especially on Underbelly, they'll literally just sit on the train. I know we're talking about Outbreak 1 right now, but like I'm just in general. Like
Yeah.
when I play with Sydneys, they literally wait for us to do the level instead of running with us. So yeah, if they're playing with you and you're playing as a team and like y'all are teamwork, and I think Sydney could be an S tier 100%. If the right person plays with her and understands like you know
Yeah.
how to use her to the best benefits, she could get up to an S tier. Do I think everybody's going to be able to play her as an S tier? I don't. I think she's closer to an A, just like Alyssa. But if I was going to put someone S tier, I want to put Alyssa because like when it comes down to it, we're not talking about survivability. We're talking about killing shit. You know, beating a level is like how much damage you do. That's why Kevin's like I'm gonna put Kevin S tier because Kevin's got
All right,
45.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Let's go to David. Let's talk about David. We'll move on to...
Wait, no, let's finish with Yoko. Let's finish with the last girl.
Okay, we'll do the last girl. Okay, we'll do last. Because the name of the stream is waifu tier list, but that is a lie because we're actually tier listing all the characters. But we will start and finish with the quote unquote waifus.
We'll start with them waifus, dude. You know?
Yoko. I mean, what is there to say about Yoko, dude? Like, she's super strong, dude. Like, probably the hardest character to play in the game.
Yeah, let's look at some stats real quick. Let's see what we're working with. Yoko's base vitality is 1300.
So
definitely the lowest out of the girls.
Got the lowest out. Okay.
Her speed is 2.31, so she is definitely the slowest out of the girls by far. She's way slower than Sydney. And her virus rate, she has the best virus rate for the girls, 0.78.
So
it also has in parentheses 0.25.
So we have to take these stats into consideration because personally, I could stick Yoko S tier. I know how to play Yoko. I've played her a lot. I'm pretty good at some of the strats, and I'm very good with item management and sharing my items. I play for the team, but that is not the player base fully, and those negative stats weigh heavily against her. You sit like our average player on Yoko, and it's more than likely not going to go good, and I've just seen it happen so many times. She's weak, slow, like she's terrible with weapons. You know, it's so. Do I think she's very, very good? Yes, I do think she's very good. It's probably one of the most risk reward, skill reward characters, you know?
Yeah. She's got her dodge, she's got her tackle in this game. Like she's definitely, oddly enough, it's crazy to say this, but she's better in this game than she is in 2.
Yes, she's better in this version than on File 2. 100%. It's weird they nerfed her when she's already got so many negative things against her. And I know it's because of the backpack. Like her whole balance is around that backpack. Oh, she can hold the most items? Well, she's getting the shit into the stick for everything.
And on 1, she kind of like literally makes a difference. In my opinion, she's more useful than a Sydney. If somebody was gonna be like, "Yo, you want a Sydney or you want a Yoko?" I'd be like,
take a Yoko.
I'd rather have the Yoko.
I'm gonna take a Yoko.
You can be the fucking camel. You can literally take all the items, and we're gonna literally pick up the things we want. Like we don't have to manage inventory anymore. Like you know, it's a little bit easier to play the game like that, opposed to all right, now you got a healer. Okay, well we all still gotta grab.
We gotta grab shit. We got key items. We got weapons. We got It's just so much stuff. And so here's the real question: is she better than Alyssa?
It depends if you're taking into consideration like the skill gap for playing her. She does have the dodge.
She does. She has a really ghetto dodge. I mean, it's awesome, but it's weird at the same time because in this particular game and in this series, you always want to be moving forward. You want to get past your enemies most of the time.
Yeah.
And the problem with Yoko's dodge is it makes her go backwards. So.
But it's movable. So
it's movable.
Say her dodge is better than Sydney's.
And it's spammable when you're hurt, but it takes skill, dude. It takes.
You could fuck yourself up with hers, yes. You can accidentally put yourself in a bad.
You put yourself in a corner because you accidentally hit auto aim instead of manual aim. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
and you stick yourself in a corner. Now you're getting so. Uh, so I mean, I'm thinking kind of in the middle. Like the girls are good, man. The girls are real good.
Good. I feel like she's definitely either. I was thinking Yoko when we started this. I was gonna put her S, but I think she is A. I think she rocks A as with all three girls. They're all decently good depending on skill gap. I would say Alyssa's the best out of the three because she's the easiest to play out of the two. The other two, if I had to choose from all three, I'd definitely pick her because Yoko and Sydney, I feel like for me, are harder to
They're
play
harder
with
to
the
play.
lower health pools.
True. They have worse stats.
Yeah, they're not, like you said, they're not that decent with guns. Like, it's not to say that like Alyssa's just randomly got higher crit, but Alyssa's pot shot makes up for the fact that, like, you know, the guns aren't that good in the first place. Also,
Exactly.
you know, unless you're using one of the cool handguns, you know, they're pretty trash.
But if you're a first-time player, you're a mid-range player, you played for a little while, you're probably playing Alyssa. I mean, or Kevin. You know what I'm saying? Or like,
Andro.
they're good, and you'll be straight. Like you can make shit happen. But like a worse,
there's a lot
not
to
as
work
good
with.
player is gonna make the other two girls look even worse. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, even a rusty player, like it's easy to get put in a bad scenario with Yoko.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
easy to accidentally get put in a bad scenario with Sydney, because their healths are about the same.
Yeah, Vengeance, true. Cindy's her virus rate. We take that into consideration too. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Yeah,
that is one really, really big positive about Yoko, but virus rate doesn't really come into play until like the highest difficulties where you're actually getting downed in 2-3 hits. You know what I'm saying? Like,
True.
so
It,
I think all the girls are in a great spot, and yeah, I think this is actually really solid where they stand. Is my video not playing in the corner again? Hold on, y'all.
no, it's not. It paused.
It's just being weird. Okay. Okay. Alright, so we got the VOD played in the corner if y'all want to see a little gameplay. And seeing the gameplay kind of triggers my brain a little bit. Hold on. Stop talking for a second. Because my internet's being weird right now. I don't know why. Might be the heat, dude. Might be the heat got my shit tripping, man. And I can't use my Ethernet at the moment. Something's wrong with my Ethernet port. So we're gonna thug through this the best we can. Alright, we're good. We're back in the green. Now we can continue. I can edit all this later.
But
I mean, in very hard. So Yoko in very hard is going down. She's getting put into danger probably in 2 hits. I mean, or maybe
1300 vitality. Yeah, she's she's getting knocked through those stages quick. Yeah, she doesn't have a lot of leniency to work with. We're obviously just talking about base characters as well. I don't think we made that 100% completely clear, but we're just talking about the base version of each character, not any of the other skins you could get, which change the parameters of the characters quite a bit.
Yeah. We might eventually go through that. I don't know. That's a lot of characters, but yeah, we're just talking about base game. Nothing extra. This is we'll probably talk up to like a very hard standpoint as far as like difficulty goes. Yeah, sorry, my stream's spazzing. I don't know what's going on. My internet's being weird. Sorry guys.
Definitely going through the point of view of very hard. Like, we're not rating these people on normal, easy, or hard. Just the experience that we have from very hard.
Yeah, and if zombie crits you, so that's bad too. You know, very bad for Yoko. I've been put into oh shit mode like on 2 bites. Or if like bleed is, that's a whole different story. All right, David. Let's talk about David, dude. Let's talk about David. Let's go ahead and move on. So David, the handyman, but I just don't feel as handy in the first game. You know?
I definitely feel like they missed it. They missed what they were going for in the first one.
They missed the mark. They didn't fully flesh him out, and that is because of like items. I feel like, you know what I'm saying. Obviously, they gave him more in the next game. As far as his first iteration, he's not. His full potential is not realized.
Yeah, I agree. I think they had a good concept to start off with, but like when they were working with it, they didn't apply it as much as, and which it makes sense if you know anything about Outbreak. File 1 and 2 are supposed to be the same game.
Yep, and they rushed it and pushed out this first version, and it wasn't fully complete.
So, you know, that's why we end up with File 2. They had so much left over, they were like, hey, we're going to make another version of it, and it's going to be File 2. So, you know, it makes sense why they made a mistake and had David kind of not be where he was supposed to be. Because in File 2, he's perfect. He's like, it seems like they managed to do all the little upgrades that needed to be done to make his character feel fulfilled.
He's in File 2. He's unique. He's very unique because you can't get some of the stuff without him. Like
exactly,
you can't access certain things, or you know, when David runs up to you and hands you a stun rod, you're like, holy shit! You just feel so much more powerful, dude. So in File 1, you know, it's just like Vengeance said. I do believe some people will believe David to be S rank, but it's only people who are good at the knife combo and likes his weapon master craft. But David can't craft in all the stages, only some can. Yeah, so because he's not fully pushed to his potential, and he doesn't have the knife combo.
No, I think he does have the knife.
Does he have knife combo?
Yeah.
I don't think it's fully fleshed though, right? It doesn't have like the fourth. I'm not 100% sure, really.
I'm about to check.
You gonna check? Okay, yeah. Hit us with the stats too.
Oh yeah, dude. Hold on. My man David. Now David got some pretty decent stats.
You got some decent stats.
Yeah. All right. He's got 2200 vitality.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah. He's 200 more than Lissa.
Yeah.
So, you know, I consider anything about over 2,000 pretty decent. You know, it's a nice little flesh pot to work with. His speed is 2.86. Now, he's actually slower than Alyssa by 0.04, which is actually pretty funny. That just goes to show you how fast Alyssa actually is. Because David's not necessarily one of the slowest characters in the game. He's actually pretty decently fast. Virus rate 1.04. Compared to the highest out of the girls, which I think was Alyssa, was 0.89. So you can see it jumped up about 0.30.
Oh my.
So my man definitely gets a little bit more infection, but is it that much more of a difference? No. And that's just the infection rate per minute. So how much your virus gauge continues to go up, which isn't really that big of a deal. Now, David can craft some pretty good stuff on 1. I will say that. Is he as useful as he is, you know, in 2? No.
So David and George are the only have the healthiest virus rate out of all the main male characters. Okay, so that helps. I mean, that definitely, him having like decent stats and having that minor utility because it's not fully realized. You know what I'm saying? It's a little more minor.
And he's got the wrenches. Which
the wrenches are pretty strong.
Yeah, I think they do 350 damage or something like that. 350 or 250 per hit.
They're pretty damn useful.
They can shred a zombie pretty fast. Two wrenches put a zombie down. So that's really useful when you're trying to get to a spot or run through some zombies. All right, dude, moment of truth.
I guess David kind of suffers from the same thing as what?
David does have his 4-hit combo in this game.
4-hit combo, okay. So, shit. So you think he might be with the girls?
Yeah, if you could 4-hit combo with him.
But that dude, not a lot of people don't even know how to do that. Okay, you're right. Yeah, wrenches are kind of OP in File 1, can easily knock down zombies, but they nerfed it in File 2, which I did not know. Holy shit. Okay, so
Interesting.
So they probably nerfed the stun and the damage on it. Yeah, I mean,
And he's got
He's pretty
12 of
good.
them.
He's pretty
He's got a
good.
built-in knife in his fucking kit.
Yeah. So he has technically as
Your
a starting
knife,
weapon.
if you 2-hit or 3-hit combo, you don't have to do the 4-hit. It will stun them, just like a little stun, but it will stun them through the 2 and the 3. If you 4-hit combo, it has. I don't know if in this game if it has a chance to knock over, but in 2 you have a chance to knock them off their feet on the 4-hit combo. So his knife combo is pretty OP.
But he suffers from same thing as like Yoko and Cindy. You know, who's piloting him? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, there's definitely a skill gap because he's either really good or he's kind of hard to play because
Vengeance, I agree with you, man.
yeah, Vengeance, you're definitely right. The stun for the wrenches on this Outbreak 1 is ridiculously more.
I'm gonna say
Like,
David's
in
high
2 it
B.
takes 2.
I'm gonna say he's high B.
I feel like he's probably fuck. If you could do knife combo with him, he's A. But if you can't do that, he's probably high B.
Exactly, yeah. And then like, I don't know. I feel like an average Cindy would be better than an average David, if that makes sense. Like more useful. But yes, knife combo. If that's a no, I think he belongs at high B. Got that RE3.
Knife combo could be a pain in the ass. All you do is you swing at the very end of your knife swing. Now for the 4th hit, you swing at the beginning.
Oh, so it's
That's
like a fast swing.
Yeah. Where the other ones are at the end.
All right, let's talk about my man George.
Oh,
You got to pull up the stats on George. I know he's got more health than David. He has to. He's thicker, dude.
He's actually 100 health lower.
What?
got,
Okay.
2100 vitality. Oof. His speed is 2.57.
He's slow.
Yeah. I think he's actually slower than Yoko.
Now, is George a Giga Chad and has the best ad libs? Yes. If he had his own tier list for that, he'd probably be at the tip top.
I mean,
But-
the ad libs carry.
But in file 1, so in file 2, he could make the triple capsule from the blue red. Well, in file 1, it only makes a large capsule and it only makes 1. Now, that makes more sense to me. The file 2 buff is definitely great. But so overall, that means less healing items. So he's automatically below Cindy.
Yeah, I agree with that. Not only is that, but he has no capsule shooter in this game.
Yep.
His virus rate is 1.04, which is literally a little bit higher than David's, just a tad bit. Actually, it's the same as David's. He's kind of hard to play with. I think he's got the tackle in 1 though.
He does have the tackle in 1, and it actually interacts differently because in file 1, if a fully charged tackle hits a zombie, it will bring them to their knees. But in file 2, a fully charged tackle will send the zombie flying, which is way better, dude. But it's still useful. It's very useful though. Like it's a very good offensive ability, but it's hard to time. A lot of people get bit off of it.
I'm pretty sure I don't know if this is just in file 2, but it's got frames in it.
That's what Vengeance just said. His charge tackle is a dodging skill. I mean,
yeah,
it's not meant to be. It's a
right.
ghetto dodge though. It's a ghetto dodge. So,
Yes, if you can. I've dodged the lions jump at you.
yeah, we're in ghetto dodge territory now, and so that's immediately a negative, but sort of a positive in a way. You feel me? That it's really hard. No, your average player is not going to be doing that, dude.
No. Out of all the dodges, George's is if you're going to use it to dodge, it's the hardest.
You're a Giga
It's
Chad if
really
you're doing stuff like
fucking
that, dude.
Yeah, like I said, I've done it before. I've done it dodging the line.
You're just
That's
like,
turbo teleporting, jumping at you. Yeah.
It's like you probably didn't halfway even mean to do it if you do a George tackle. Let's just be honest, dude. You're just like, oh.
Nah, I timed it, bro. I timed it. I was
Well, my
watching the
man's a
time.
giga, dude, but not the
Hey.
average ain't a giga, bro.
Now, did I do it every time? Hell no. But like I said, you can get it down. Is it harder? tremendously compared to the rest of the dodges in the game. Sydney's is probably the easiest because hers is like the most successful. Like I said, I feel like it had the most frames for me, but it's also one of the most punishing ones because her dodge doesn't really take you anywhere. It just puts you in the same spot. It's a stationary dodge.
Yep. If you're getting hit, you haven't moved any, and the enemy
And
is
when
still
you're fighting
in the
the
same spot.
lions, that's bad because if a lion jumps on you and you dodge it and he's sitting on top of you, if you go to run past him, he's gonna swat you with his front paw. If you turn around and try to run behind him, he does a 180 and hits you with his other attack. So it's like you really put yourself in a situation where you can't get out of it. You have to dodge again.
True and real. So, my next question is he better than David?
Damn. Well, with the facts that he has none of his tools
He has no tools,
needs
worse stats, except for
to make
infection
him a
rate.
better character.
So, no, he is not. And that puts him... Fuck, he's kind of C tier, bro. Honestly. I don't even know if he belongs in B tier, man. Like... He's kind of bad, dude. He's kind of bad.
George is kind of bad. Yeah.
He's kind of bad,
might be
dude.
the worst. Like Vengeance said, Mark was like B tier, dude. my man, I feel like Mark's better than fucking
Mark is
George's
better
ass.
than... All right, for now, dude. Yeah, George.
I think he does belong in C, honestly.
Yeah,
like,
he's C.
but the reason I would put him in B is because he can do the and we're talking about again Vengeance. We're basing it on playing him very hard. He can create antiviruses. He can't shoot them like he can in 2, but he can create them.
He can
which
bring it
makes
over to
pretty
you.
fucking useful. He can exactly give you a good healing item. Okay, my bad, Vengeance. I was just making sure. So it's like I feel like maybe we could justify him being B tier. He could be B tier just for the pure fact that he can heal. He not only can he heal, he's actually a decent fucking cooperative teammate. You know, like David actually is as well because he can make weapons. But would you rather have somebody make you a weapon, or would you rather have somebody give you a herb or an item to stop your infection rate? Especially if you've been down 3 or 4 times and you got 70 infection rate. You know what I mean?
And what if my man just walks up to you and he's like, "Take this"? You're like, "Yeah, okay." You're right,
so it's
dude.
like those factors. Like I'm thinking like the full realm of how useful George could possibly be into his maximum potential. I feel like you could justify maybe George being the lowest B you could possibly, you know.
But what's crazy
low B, high C maybe.
by the end of Decisions, he is completely useless. So.
Yeah, because you daylight.
Yeah.
But if you don't want a daylight, let's just say for some reason you're like
completion
I don't want a daylight.
or ending.
Yeah, and File 2 he gets. I'd say File 2 he's.
And
way
even
better.
in File 2, he's not great, dude. And I'll go over that, dude. But
I can rebuttal that and say not true. But like again, I can't wait for File 2 because like I have an interest in.
we might just do it after this. We might just do it right after this.
He's actually really solid. All right.
He's solid. But he's not solid here. Okay.
Yeah. In DT, yeah.
Let's talk about Jim. Let's go to Jim.
You gonna lock him in at C?
He's locked in. He's not moving, dude.
Right.
He might go down if somebody else goes down. So that's the ball. All right, Jim. Let's talk about Jim. Jim's gonna be like kind of fall in the Alyssa department where solo Jim is, I feel like, pretty decent. Least favorite character, but he's good. I was gonna get to that. I think he's the least played character
as well,
besides Mark.
He just didn't seem that appealing.
He's fucking annoying. Like, let's just be real. So, I mean, does that affect his stats and where he stands on this tier list? It's a possibility because you got to hear him the whole fucking game.
But is Jim actually a bad pick?
No, he's good. He's good, dude.
He's got a built-in mechanic to where not even just zombies, any enemy in the game will choose him last. He's the least likely enemy to be person to be chose to be attacked. So they'll straight up almost ignore him sometimes. That helps tremendously with just playing fucking levels, not being aggroed on constantly, or turbo too, because like some zombies are just relentless. Like I'm sure they're not too bad if you don't have lag and turbo on top of each other, but it seems like 90% of my experience is lag and turbo.
Pull his stats up. You got his stats up?
Yeah, I got his stats up.
All right, read his health off. Yeah.
1800.
Ooh, that's terrible.
My man takes a hit, right?
Okay.
He's definitely harder to play. I'd say Jim is fucking hard to play, but he's so rewarding. His speed is 2.58. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure he's around where fucking our boy George was.
Yeah, he doesn't seem too fast.
He's actually 100.1 faster than George. His fucking virus rate is insane. It's 1.43.
Holy.
He also has the highest, I'm pretty sure, out of all the original characters and all the characters in general, he has the highest virus rate.
Okay, so in the stat, so Jim is good, but in his stat department, he's lacking, dude. Okay, but what's one thing Jim is good at, dude? His melee damage, dude. Right? His
His
melee.
melee damage is 100, but like he doesn't. In this game, they fucked him. They didn't give him anything extra. They gave him the dive in this game, which is
So he
like
has the Omega Ghetto dodge. So it's actually an easier dodge to pick up on.
definitely, and it's kind of one of the more useful dodges because even though you are stationary after you launch yourself, you don't get aggroed on until you get back up. So it's actually pretty nice.
Did Capcom intend for it to be a dodge, though? Explain to me, if you might know this more than me, Diz, because I don't know. What is the purpose of that move?
The jump on the floor?
To fake his death? That's like a cowardly thing, right?
Yeah, Jim's definitely, that's like his whole character thing is he's like scared. He jumps on the ground to pretend he dies. Yes, and that's pretty much what he's doing. He's literally pretending to die when he falls on the ground like that. And
Okay.
zombies are just literally like, oh shit, he's dead.
So, is he better than David? No. I just don't see it, dude. He's not above David. David is gatekeeping right now. David is gatekeeping a balanced character with a tiny bit of uniqueness. You know what I'm saying? Is Jim unique?
Dude, it's so hard. Like,
Sort
would I put Jim at B?
of.
Yes. Is Jim useful to the rest of the team? Fuck no.
Yeah, not really. Yeah, David is
No,
useful to the
not.
team, but
Yeah.
Jim isn't.
George
So
is useful to the team. Jim's not either. Yeah. Jim has no benefit. The only benefit he can do for the team is he can go run and get something for them. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that area is heavy with enemies. Okay, let Jim go.
he's able to see items on the map too. Okay, well,
Huh? I didn't even know that.
that's interesting. And does that help the team? Sort of, but more so
Yeah,
helps
it could.
him. Like,
Because you can't really communicate in Outbreak.
yeah, you can't communicate in
Unfortunately,
Outbreak.
Discord.
So it's, and Discord didn't exist back when this game came out. So I don't know.
Sure.
Initially, and it wasn't intended for you to be able to do that. You were supposed to talk in
Use the
ad
ad libs. Yeah.
So Jim isn't that great. So all the positives in Jim that you can say. All right, let's see what Vengeance says. You see items on the map. Critical hits when gaining them. Okay. Delays enemies a little bit and not to target him. So his melee swing is better in File 2. Yeah, because he's got the combo, right?
They gave him the combo in File 2. They gave him the buff.
Okay.
He's
So
also
he's
got two coins in File 2. Like, he only has one coin in File 1. He's got, like,
He's-
that bonus coin you can get.
bro, is he kind of C tier? Like, is he actually better than George? You know? Is he high C? Like, he's better than George, right?
I think he's better than George. I would play Jim over George.
Okay.
That's the only reason I would say that, and that's because George is just bad. He's just really bad in Outbreak 1.
Yo, Miguel, what's up?
unfortunate.
Jim is good for speedruns? Yeah. We're
I believe it.
we're taking into consideration everything, man. We got stats, play it like difficulty of the, what kind of player can play, what difficulty they're playing on, their team aspects, because the game was, kind of meant to be that way, play as a team.
Yeah.
So the reason why Jim is you're right. Jim is good for speedruns. His dodge is way better than in File 1. It has more invincibility. It's like Vengeance said. In File 2, they nerfed his dodge a little bit. It has to be timed a little more tight. So yeah, in File 1, speedruns. But the average player isn't a speedrunner. and the average player isn't going to be that great with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but is he easier? Do you think his dive would be easier to do than try to wrench somebody with David, or try to
Fuck no.
either George dodge tackle or George tackle interrupt?
When the average player plays David and they throw a wrench, they will never forget that.
Yeah, just like the auto lock on, like you
You
auto
just-
lock on throw.
You know that ability is there, and it's so rewarding. Jim's dodge, you might do it on accident, or you do it one good time, but even then, like, I don't know. I just don't feel like it's that as intuitive as throwing a wrench with David and it being as rewarding.
It's definitely more rewarding, but I think he's easier out of the two. Like if I was gonna say, like, which is, I know it's crazy, but like his jump dodge literally it makes him a lot easier to play, in my opinion. His higher virus rate, but like well, I guess like you would have to say like they know what they're doing because he's kind of punishing as well. You don't want to drag ass while you're playing this gym.
Now, what I'm thinking is, okay,
I think he's decent at B.
okay, you think he belongs in the B? I think if
He's
a
better than George in almost every aspect.
I agree, 100%. Okay, that makes sense.
Just
Okay.
the only aspect I'd say George is better. George actually is a teamwork player, you know what I mean, or a team player. Like he actually has something he can provide to a team. Whereas Jim is just like I said, like he can melee. You know, he can go get the enemy's attention, even though they're gonna ignore him for a second. But he can run through them and grab an item. So it's like he does have his benefits, I guess.
All right, we'll leave Jim there. We spent a little more time on Jim than I actually thought we would. So that's why I wanted to do this. This is fun. Kevin, I mean, come on. Does anything else need to be said about Kevin? I mean, we'll talk about him a little bit, but I feel like that's the easiest place to put someone who belongs there. Kevin is a police officer, dude. He fits the role. Like they made that character with that in mind. You're gonna hop on the game and you're gonna see the waitress, the reporter, the backpack girl, the mechanic. You're like, okay, these are cool characters, but I'm gonna pick the police officer, dude. Like, and there's damn good reason why, man. He's just so damn strong. He's
really fucking good, yeah. And he looks cool.
He looks cool.
You know, like I said, he's like the only cop. Well, he's not the only cop.
He's linked
Mark
to the
is
greater
security
lore.
officer,
Like,
so,
even though Alyssa actually is solidly canon,
also PD.
like I mean Kevin is too, but like Kevin actually connects to the, like when you loaded up Outbreak for the first time, you were like, fuck, he's RPD. Like, okay, this I know he's connected to like what I know. So not only in the stat department is he immaculate, he's just Capcom intended for you to play that character and have a fun time with it.
Yeah, that's why they made him like so fucking like DPS based. You know what I mean? Like he's got fat health. He's got, I think, the fattest health out of all the characters except for maybe Mark.
I think his health actually might be moderate, dude. Or
it's 2300.
It's 23. Okay. Yeah, so he's better. Yeah. Yeah. What? So he's better than David and Jim. And okay.
He's faster than all of them.
He's fast as shit.
Got better health. The only person who's got better health than him is Mark.
Right.
His virus rate is 1.19.
So he's got a little high virus going, but everything else is
higher than George.
Yeah, everything's going good for him, man. Like he's fast, so he's athletic. You know, he's got the kick. He can stun easily.
Yeah, his move.
He has a special gun that you can't get in the game otherwise. That is just ridiculously strong and murders bosses. Like, combined it with his other ability, which is the pot shot, which is a better version of Alyssa's, by the way.
Yeah.
He's crazy. He's strong. He deserves to be an S tier. And that's that, man. Like,
I know you could say, oh, he doesn't bring much to the team. He brings firepower to the team.
Brings firepower. He's fast.
Kevin, dude, you give him a handgun. If you don't, like, you know, you still got the, like, he can literally make every bullet you shoot worth 2. You know what I mean? Maybe worth 3.
And you might not get a stun off a shot. He will get a stun off of a shot.
Yeah, off of every shot. Not is every enemy in the game stunnable? No, but like his pop shot is pretty pretty broken. Like it literally changes the game. It can't be used with shotguns, but any pistol, revolver, like it can be used with.
I'll never
So,
forget when you showed me that, dude, for the first time. We were at your house, dude. And you're like, look, dude, this, like, if he holds his aim, bro, he could do this. And I was like, damn, bro. Like, you literally can't animate someone shooting a gun stronger than the way Capcom did with my man
right,
Kevin,
and all he's really doing is just hitting.
he's just literally like aiming the gun again. It just looks hard, dude.
They actually, yeah, they did a really good job with it. Like it makes you feel like you're. But the only thing I don't like about it is it shoots in a straight line. But I also think that that gives it some little bit of like playability, but at the same time, it's like you have to kind of learn, like a learning curve. You know, it's not something like you're just literally gonna turn around and do. Like after a while, it's really easy to do because like you can kind of do it off screen. You got a good idea. Also, it increases the range of the bullet. I didn't mention that. There's a big thing in Outbreak 1 where a lot of the guns have fall-off range depending on how close and how far away you are from the enemy, so they'll do more damage the closer you are and less damage the further you are away. Depending on the
fall-off.
His
yeah.
45 has the best distance for fall-off range, and it's also, every time he pops shot, he increases the fall-off range depending on what gun he's using. So that's the other benefit to pop shotting, and it also can increase how far you can shoot while not losing the damage of your gun.
All right, yeah. Hey, link up with us when we play.
Cool about Outbreak.
We're gonna play after the tier list. We're just mixing it up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I agree.
So I think Kevin definitely belongs, dude. He belongs S tier. Like, there's not even like a playability thing where you got to be good to play as him. No.
Fuck no. You could be little Timmy can hop on for his first time, like, hey, I'm gonna pick Kevin, and like,
yeah.
You're just zooming around and doing shit. Like,
do you even got a pop shot with a 45? No, he's actually, I think he has a higher crit chance than everybody else too. He's just the best character overall in Outbreak 1 for sure, hands down. Like if you're trying to kill a boss, he's your man.
He's your man, dude.
That's the guy.
He's there.
But I think that's all I need to say about my man Kevin, dude. He definitely belongs S tier more than anybody else in my opinion. But you know.
So what do we Michael, yo, what's good, dude? If y'all start to play, just curious to see if I'll catch it. Oh shit, the ETA. Yeah, we should give us like should we do file 2 or should we just wrap it up after this?
We can wrap it up after this.
All right, we'll go into a game. So give us about 5 minutes, dude. 5-10 minutes, and we're gonna be jumping into some matches. Okay, because this is our last talking point. Mark.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mr. Mark.
You're not gonna see really anybody playing Mark. There's a couple reasons why. I mean, he's huge, dude. Like, looking forward to see y'all playing. Yeah, okay, appreciate that. Yeah, man, we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
Mark, I mean, he's not beginner friendly, dude. He's slow. Now he has a ton of health, which helps him out, dude. Like that's actually. Mark is the tank. Now this was before, you know, motherfuckers knew what a role was. I mean, if you had played RPGs back in the day, then you kind of knew what was going on with Mark when you picked him up for the first time and you said, "This dude's slow, but dude, I'm getting bit like every 5 minutes and I'm still running." So like,
yeah, not even seeing my health really get like chunked down. You know what I mean? He's definitely slow, but he's not actually. Ironically, believe it or not, he's faster than Jim and he's faster than George.
He's faster?
Yeah, he's faster than Jim and George.
No fucking way, dude.
His speed is 2.62.
All right, Mark done hit the come up, dude.
Vitality 3K, dude.
Mark actually
he does have a fat virus rate. It's 1.32. It's a little bit higher than everybody else's. He's actually got a higher one than Kevin. It's comparable to Jim's.
He might be better than Jim.
Yeah, I think he's got his melee power thing. Like, I don't think he can rare back in this one, but he has like the bonus where Mark does more damage with melee weapons.
Yeah. So, I mean, Mark's kind of got it going on. Mark might have hit a come up. Mark might just come out of left field, dude, because I was immediately going to put him at the lowest he could go. But
he's also got the handgun, dog.
He starts with a handgun, yeah.
Fucking handgun with 15 bullets to start off with. That may I also add, is not locked into your 4-slot inventory. It is given its own personal window. Now, you can't trade his handgun, but it doesn't take up the space for your inventory, so you can always drop handgun bullets in your inventory and not have to worry about inventory management. And that is a big thing in Outbreak 1.
True,
So I feel like that is tremendously good for new players. Like, he's one of the people where you can just, like, he's a character where it's easy to slide in there. Now, is he as good as he is in Outbreak 2? No, because they actually realized that they didn't give him the full strengths of what he could be used for. They kind of were going with the tank role, but they never fully, like they did with David. They didn't give him all the mechanics that could fully benefit his role and bring out the full potential of it.
I think
they
they
didn't add that stuff into 2.
I think they realized in File 2 that a pure tank probably doesn't need to exist, and a more aggressive, like an offensive tank type character is probably the better move in this kind of game.
Yeah, because I mean, they gave him both upgrades, and if you think about it, like he has the rear back super swing, and then he has like the block now, which reduces stun. The grab time also reduces a little bit of the damage. I'm not sure how much damage it reduces. I'm not that much of a Mark nerd, but in my opinion, I think Mark's a pretty good character. Does he have a lot to benefit for the team? No, not really. He's probably in there with.
Right.
I say he's B tier.
Yeah,
B tier.
he's B tier. He's B tier. Now,
he's got a lot of playability. He's a little bit faster than Jim and George. Like he's got a little bit more health to work with, so you can not have to worry about getting wrecked into oblivion for being a noob.
I think that's a big deal, like wreckability, because like you get wrecked in this game. So
yeah, I mean, dude, it's easy to dodge the zombies and stuff offline. Like it's it's a Resident Evil game. If you played any Resident Evil game, you played the old ones, at high difficulty, like they're not that hard. But when you add in turbo, you add in lag.
These things matter.
It changes it quite a bit. It makes the game a lot more difficult, but it doesn't take the fun away from me, at least. Like it's still fun to me, And there's not much you can do. These servers are, a blessing. It's so great that we have the privilege to play this game.
It's true.
2023. I mean, it's insane. Like these servers were took down in 2012.
This is true.
The fact that these guys resurrected this thing and put it up for us, like definitely. It's been a great experience because I've never actually got to play this game online until playing it on this server. So,
yeah, guys. I mean, if you haven't already, you should be playing this game or give it a shot. It's very easy to get access to.
yeah.
So, I guess the final question is Mark better than Jim? This is a tough question because
Jim's got the dodge.
Jim has a dodge.
Shit health, and he's also slower than Mark.
True. And he doesn't have a starting item. He doesn't have a block. Like, he's more useful to the team than Jim.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, really, like, Mark can save you. He can block. I've seen people get to danger and somebody's trying to carry their friend away. And, like, a Mark jumps in, dude, and he's like, starts blocking. He's just like, go, go, go. He's just spamming go, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
or an Outbreak 2 hits him with that Giga swing.
Oh, if he Giga swings on someone? Yeah, File 2, he's definitely looking good. Or better. But, yeah, I think he's better than Jim, dude.
I feel like he is better than Jim. He actually, in File 1, he might be better than David, in my opinion.
He might be. He might honestly bring a little more to the table.
I feel like they just did David so wrong in File 1. He does have his knife combo, though, which I feel like definitely makes him really good. If you're good with that knife combo, he might even bring him up to an A tier, you know what I mean? Like,
true.
That makes a gigantic difference in this kit. How good can you use the guy? Definitely could bring him up to a higher tier.
True.
I'm just thinking on the base level, there's no way everybody's going to be able to pop off that 4-hit combo every time, like, without a lot of practice. Like, it's complicated. 3-hit, not that bad. You can kind of, like, blind-mindedly just slam the button and get it. But the 4-hit's a little bit of a finesse.
So, I mean, if you really think about it, playing Mark at just a casual level might be better than playing David.
On Outbreak 1, yes.
Right. now things are different. Melee is just different in File 2. Like, it just works differently. Like, so
That is true.
we need to make a decision right here then. Does he belong where he is, or does he above David?
What do you think? I think he's decent at 2.
He's decent
Is
in
he
2.
easier? Is he easier to play than David though?
I feel like yes.
I mean, you got a handgun to work with, right?
You do. That's a big positive. I mean, but
David's got the wrenches. But
let's
there's
talk
only
about
12.
very hard difficulty, which is the standard essentially when you're playing online, and that's just how, when you make servers, they automatically go to very hard. So like,
True.
David is more useful. The wrench is more useful than a handgun with 15 bullets in it that is not guaranteed to stun unless you hit him on like third, fourth shot.
100%. Or you just get a crit hit, which is
Yeah.
very rare in Outbreak 1. So yeah, I agree. His handgun is not that good in anything above fucking I think it's probably decent on hard, but like after you go to very hard, it's just like the damage fall off is ridiculous.
I'm happy
His
with this
handgun
list.
though, his handgun is one of the better handguns in the game. It has the best fall off range per handgun.
That's
And
insane.
you can't get anything else like that.
That's
Like,
kind of crazy. So it's actually a special handgun. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Which
So I
would make
will say
sense because
that.
it's not tradable.
Yes, yes, and it's his personal RPD. Pretty sure it's his RPD gun.
Okay. I like this tier list. I'm happy with
Had to
it,
put
dude.
my man Giga Kevin on top, dog.
Yeah, Kevin's just too giga, man. Like, you just can't go wrong with that character.
In File 1, yeah, dude, he's honestly like really.
The girls are looking clean. I mean, the guys really need to step it up, dude. And I think they do a little more in File 2. But
Poor George, dude.